Okay, so I'm going to show you how to apply the perfect screen protector every time, whether it's glass or whether it's plastic. Glass is going to be significantly easier than plastic. Plastic is just more prone to bubbles. So, and sorry for the camera angle, it's going to have to be as good as it gets to try and get this done appropriately. And it's easiest to show it on a 3DS XL because it's bigger and it has both types on it. It's got the top is the glass and the bottom is the plastic. So the very first thing you're going to want to do before you do anything is wash your hands with soap and water and dry them off, because you don't want any finger oils on your hands getting onto these things and making dust prints or a whole bunch of other things. The second thing you're going to want to do is wear a face mask. I do these a lot, so I have a nice little Under Armour one, but that's to keep your breathing from your nose and your mouth, the dust, from getting on top of this. You're going to need an aerosol spray can to have a duster ready. You're going to need some isopropyl rubbing alcohol above 90%. And then you're going to want some Q-tips. I have them right here, the cotton ones. And then you're going to want some Scotch tape. And it'll all make sense here in a second while we're going to do this. So we're going to do the easy one first. So we'll take out the glass. The most important thing you're going to want to do too is when you do go to apply any of these things, and I'll tell you this right now before you start applying it and get ahead of yourself, because it's very important. Which side is the right side? Okay, this is going to be the back side. So what I want to do first is get whatever dust. You may not see any dust on these things, but there usually always is dust on them. So dust them off, dust that off, and then we're going to lay it down. It's facing this way. So the important thing to notice is that we'll pretend that this is on, or we just placed it on there, right? So when you do, I'm trying to move this light out of the way. When you do place a glass one, and this is what most people will be doing when they watch this video, is sometimes when you lay it down just flat and perfectly, you'll start to see the liquid making contact with the surface that you want to make contact with on your phone or whatever. It's very important that as that happens, and you may not catch it in the moment because my hands might get in the way, because you have to be fast. You'll start to see it, push against it, and you'll see the liquid making contact with it. What you want to do is try and guide it evenly in a straight line by just using light force and touch to make sure that you don't get any trapped bubbles anywhere. You want that just to slowly go all the way across, and hopefully you'll be able to pick it up on the camera as we do it. So I line it up first, and then we get a piece of Scotch tape, and then you want to rest part of it on the protector, and then you're going to line up where you want it to go. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm pretty careful about making sure it's always even on all the sides. All right, then we'll tag it right there. Make sure it's nice and smooth. That way when it lays down, it's going to lay down exactly where you want it to lay down. I can't pick that up very well. I get my tweezers here, lift it up. Okay, we're just going to test it. Yep, that's going to work. You want to leave yourself ample space, at least a little bit of space on each edge, so that way if you do get a bubble, you have a place to let it go out. If you have this right against the edge of one of the corners of these things, the bubble might not escape, or if there was a piece of dust that comes up across any of these sides that you didn't notice, and then the edge of your protector touches that, it'll create a bubble there and it won't fully seal down and lay flat. There's a couple of things you have to always pay attention to. This is the preparation is the key. So now we've got this done. We're going to do a little bit more air. Okay, and then we're going to just very quickly let it lay down. Okay, so notice, here we go. Oh, that's perfect. Look, I didn't have to do anything. Wow, okay, that's really rare. But now you can see how it just came down and blanketed down perfectly. And that's exactly what you want to see. Okay, now we're going to take this off very carefully. All right, come on now. I'm telling you, glass is usually easy to do once you've got all the preparation work done. It's the plastic ones that really stink. There you go. No bubbles. Nothing. Okay, so now the hard one. Okay, so we've got this out of the way. Make sure there's nothing on my hands. Oh man, these are not fun. Okay, this is where the rubbing alcohol and everything comes into play, because there is going to be a bubble. No matter what you do, there is going to be a bubble. So the same thing as this one. We're going to get any dust off the front and the back, off that area too. This is going to be an easy one, at least for this item, because this bottom touchscreen I actually installed. It's brand new, so there's no dust on any of the corners. It's a brand new one. But it also looks gorgeous. Okay, so this is the back side, this is the front side. Now, very important for this one that you give it, like I said before, you want to make sure, oh, that little thing has got a little bit of stickiness to it. You want to make sure that you give yourself a gap, an even gap on all sides, so that way your bubbles have a place to escape. Especially in this place where it's receded and it's sunken in. That's very important. All right, bottom and top look about even. It's the left and the right side that do not. I've got my old man eyes trying to make sure this is looking okay. That looks, if I hold it like this, that will give me a clear gap on both sides. Okay, now same thing, tape, holding into place. I got my tape right here. Okay, so now this is the tricky part. We don't need this stuff anymore. I have a little jar right here. Actually, let me just empty this one out, just to be safe. Okay, so I have a jar that I pour in my rubbing alcohol. I empty it out after every time I do this, because I don't want to get any little strings of cotton in there from when I've dipped and used it previously. So I'm going to pour just a little bit of, move this out of the way, rubbing alcohol in there, just a little bit. You don't need a lot, but you need to make sure that whatever you're going to pour in has a lid, because this is going to evaporate very fast. Okay. Going to do some air dusting again. This is the most annoying one of them all. I'm kind of glad that most people don't have to do these anymore. It's all just glass. But with this bottom touchscreen, you have to use plastic, because glass will make it not work. Okay, so we're going to get, we're going to use this side because it looks like it's got no little strings that are going to pop out. We're going to dip this Q-tip. We're going to soak it like really, really well. And what we're going to do is, before we pull off the back, a covering of that, we're going to just soak the whole bottom thing in rubbing alcohol. That way it's got liquid, so that way if there's a bubble that appears, because there's always going to be a bubble with plastic, as a way you can use this liquid that will evaporate very quickly to give it extra material to use to help those things escape. But when you're doing this though, you have to also make sure you're not leaving anything behind. I'm going to cover that up. I need way more than what I have there. Really soak it. It's evaporating on me so fast. Holy cow. 1 second. We're going to use this other side then. It's got a lot more material on it. That way I can just really douse this in. There we go. And then very quickly, we're going to peel off this back one. And then let it fall. There are going to be bubbles, and that's okay. As long as this is in the right spot, that's all that matters. We're now going to take off the top layer too, because there's a layer protecting the top and the bottom. And then very gently use that liquid that's left over there to just push them all to the side. And that, let me get a little wipe here I've got a microfiber towel here actually that I can use. And that, don't worry about that liquid. If it's above 90%, it's going to push it out. and evaporate immediately, as you were seeing before earlier. And then look at that. Boom. Nothing. Not a single bubble. Not a single anything. And if you do, let's say by chance, look at that, it's perfect. Oh, one bubble up there. I didn't see it until the angle. If you do, there you go. If you do see by chance a piece of dust in there, what you can do is very gently get like a, what I'd say, a Q-tip? Not a Q-tip, a plastic guitar pick if you have one. Don't use tweezers. Don't use anything metal or sharp, because that will actually bend this and then cause it to have a crease, and then you're going to be in big trouble. Do I have a Q-tip over here? I do not. I mean, where are my guitar picks at? That's very odd. I had one over here a second ago. Well, I've got my metal one. I'm not going to use the metal one, but you know what I'm saying. So you've got a plastic one. Let's pretend this is plastic. You've got those gaps there just in case the bubbles escape, but also to let you do some correction. So what you do is you lift this up very gently with that plastic guitar pick, no creases, and you dip the Q-tip, and then you would just swipe the area where the dust piece is and just use the Q-tip to pull it out to the side, and then put more rubbing alcohol there, just a whole bunch of it, and then close it back up again, and then rub it out with the microfiber cloth, and then it will just be fine. And that's the way you fix it. So hopefully that makes you guys a pro with this. The other thing you can do too to help control your surroundings, and I don't do this because it takes too long to do, is you could do this in an area where you turn on the shower and put it on hot. So that way there's a lot of moisture and humidity in the air to grab any dust particles as they fall down. But with this method, you don't really need to do that. You're already taking a lot of precautions in advance with the mask and everything. And with this rubbing alcohol, it just makes a huge difference. And then it evaporates and it's clean and it's dry. There's nothing there that's gonna make it have a bubble or harm it at all. And it looks perfect and gorgeous at the end. And then, for those of you who are perfectionists or have the little OCD things that I have where it just has to be perfect and aligned on all sides, you've got exactly what you're looking for. Hopefully that helps you.